Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and I'm making my videos with a new backdrop, so to speak. So normally I sit facing that way and my camera's right by the door and you see the back of this. But I thought I would, shake things up a bit, and now I'm utilizing my desk space that I had my sewing machine sitting here. I still have a bunch of shenanigans there. But the reason I did decide to make this switch was so I could have things on my desk here and show them to you. Currently what I had been doing was, I forgot. Oh, I would balance things in my lap or stack things next to me. And then sometimes I would drop things on the floor, which I'll probably still drop things on the floor. But this way I thought I would at least be able to, utilize this space. Okay, so what I thought about doing for this video is I am going to talk about the Crochet Society box and the KnitCrate box. I thought I kind of would talk it out with you guys for a couple of reasons. Number one was I'm trying to decide if I keep them both. And I thought if I talked this out with you and I made this pro and con list, maybe it would help me decide what I want to do. The other thing is there's some of you who have mentioned multiple times in different videos that you wanted to get them. And I thought that either way, I would go into a little bit more greater detail. Not as great of a detail as Carrie Penny, the Happy Crafter Homemaker. I'll put a link in the description to her videos. She is very much more detailed. So check her out if you want to know, like, amount of yarn, cost per project. Like, that gal is very thorough. And I'm glad she is, because I will not be very thorough. My videos don't tend to be as much factual as it is how I'm feeling. I'm a feeler. Okay, so let's get into it. Hopefully talking about this with you guys will help some of you if you want to decide what to do, and then also will help me really feel comfortable with the decision. I'd like to start off with saying that I am not a representative or an ambassador for either of these two companies. Neither of them send me anything free. Everything that I've gotten from them I purchased with my own money. And I do because I really do love getting these little packages once a month. Now, I do, just a side note, and I'll put a link in the description, I have received this one free box, it's a sock box from Darn Good Yarn. I believe I am some sort of an ambassador with them, as in they did give me a code, a link that you can purchase things from them and use my code, and I will get like 5% or 3% or 1%. I don't even know. And then they did send me this one free box. So I'm not including them in this decision because I don't know if they're going to give me more free boxes or not. I do know that Zelda NJR3, I'll put a link in the description to her too. I know she pretty regularly gets things from them and makes videos for them. So one, check her out, see the kind of stuff they mail her. I don't know, but I currently have not paid for them. So they are not, what I'm choosing between, if you will. So I'll start with the KnitCrate because I have had them the longest. The KnitCrate usually comes in this size boxes, and pretty regularly this exact box. Now, initially when I first started joining, they did come in little plastic mailers. And I'm going to tell you what, the box or the little plastic mailers, neither one of those sway me either way. I do like the KnitCrate box. I see when it's out there when I pull in from coming home from work, and I love it. But this cute little box versus a plastic bag isn't going to sway me either way. Okay, so KnitCrate, I think, initially is a subscription box that they made for knitters, hence the name KnitCrate. And they have so kindly expanded their repertoire or their product to fit crocheters. You always get, well, I shouldn't say always, 99% of the time get 2 skeins of perfectly matched yarn. There has been one time where KnitCrate gave me 1 yarn, and that's because it was cashmere. I'm going to be honest, I wasn't necessarily a fan of that particular yarn. but I did get one cashmere that month. I believe I sent it out to a friend too. They always have that. Now they've upgraded their books through the years, or through the year. Their book is, the cover photo switches between knitting or crochet feature. They're not solely knit. It always will show you the new books, that is. The different colors that you could have gotten. And here they all are. They also will show you what was in the sock box, because I think they use this book also for the sock box. And then they will feature all of the patterns that they have in the page numbers. They do a crochet sock, they do a knit sock, they do a crochet pattern, and a knit pattern. I will say they almost always have 2 knit patterns. So for this, they have a crochet tank top, they have crocheted socks, knitted hat, knitted tower tank shawl vest thing, sky deck vest. So they do tend to have more knit in it. It's a KnitCrate. And then they have the token crochet pattern. So usually you just get to crochet whatever the one crochet thing it is. But if you were a knitter, you will get to choose. And for me, having a choice always makes me feel better. Now they do have a substantial amount of patterns on their online catalog. And then sometimes they'll put cards in here, or I believe they have codes for the designers. So the lady, Michelle Costa, you will be able to see some of her other patterns, which I'm assuming because she crocheted this tank top, that she will then also have other crochet patterns. So you have access to other patterns that are crochet. It's just in this book, it's usually, and it has been upgraded now to 1 sock pattern, 1 crochet something. The majority of their patterns are very predictable. Sorry, KnitCrate. It is things like hats, scarves, cowls, shawls. This is one of the first ones I saw that had like tops. And they weren't a full sweater, of course, because you really can't do that with 2 skeins. Knitted vests and things like that. There's only been 1 pattern ever that I was like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. I would never make that in a million years. And I've been getting KnitCrate for probably, well, longer than a year. The number of boxes I have down here, maybe almost 2 years. And that was, and no offense if you all loved it. It was, I think last winterish time, there was a muff for the crochet pattern. And those of you that are young like me and might not know what a muff is, it's just a circular tube that you stick your hands in to keep warm. That was the only time where I was like, there was one time where it was a pattern that came with and it was for a baby, and I felt like this pattern is awesome. I would use this pattern, but I would never use it with the KnitCrate yarn. I'm just that kind of a gal where I feel like merino wool and alpaca and silk and cashmere, that's not really for me or my babies a realistic baby yarn. But it is a wonderful pattern that you could use with, you know, a more sensibly washed yarn. So there was only 2 times, and isn't that crazy? Out of all those times where I was like, KnitCrate, you lost it. So that is the situation with KnitCrate's patterns. KnitCrate costs me $24.99 a month. The first month I joined off a DIY Creation 7, and I got like a $5 off. Every month, the really cool thing about KnitCrate is because it is a purchase, I do receive something like their KnitCrate dollars, and I don't remember the fancy, the fancy thing that they call their KnitCrate dollars. But essentially, you get points back, KnitCrate points, for purchases that you make on their website. The subscription bot counts. When you refer friends, you get points. When you purchase more yarn in general off of them, you get more points. So one month, I really, really, really loved the yarn. And I had some KnitCrate stash points accrued. And I made a purchase. And I got more points for that purchase too. And sometimes they'll do like a really good deal. KnitCrate will be like, let's say they've ordered excessive amounts of their yarn, and maybe not as many boxes sold or whatever. Sometimes they'll put through a deal where they'll sell like 3 or 5 or 8 of these for a phenomenal price. And that is what happened. One time they sold, I wish I had some up here to show y'all. They sold some for a phenomenal deal, and I bought that. I'm looking through. KnitCrate is almost always luxury yarn, and that's what sold me on it to begin with. I'm not going to say we're poor, my husband and I. We're obviously not. We're both middle-class workers, but I have a hard time spending this kind of money on luxury yarn. You go to the local yarn shops, and you can never really find anything that's less than $25 a skein. And I totally get that it's merino, and it's wool, and it's cashmere, and it's silk, and it's alpaca. But for one skein of yarn to spend $25, and that's on the low end. If you've been to those private yarn shops, sometimes they have them as much as 25, 28, 30, 32, 38. And if you're a crocheter, you know that you need more yarn than a knitter to complete a project. So if I do buy from local yarn shops, it's usually only one little tidbit, one little tidbit for me. And I don't do it very often. So the KnitCrate was nice because for $24.99 a month, you get 2 skeins of yarn. So it's almost like if you were going to the yarn shop and they did buy one, get one free. Not only did you get the 2 skeins of yarn, but you also then get at least 1 crochet pattern, 2 crochet patterns, if you include the sock. Now, if you are a knitter, it's even better because you get 3 patterns, and if you do both, you are the winner of them all because you'll get 5 or 6 patterns. And you know, even if you buy like the cheaper patterns off of Ravelry, those are like $1 to $2 to $3. I usually don't buy a pattern that's more than $5. And so if you go off of those 3 patterns, let's just say 2 crochet patterns, the sock and whatever, that's going to be at least $4 to $6 in addition in the patterns. And if you're buying the $3 or $4 patterns, obviously that's more, right? So that to me what really sold me on getting KnitCrate is I got 2 skeins of luxury yarn a month. Now, I was getting like 1 or 2 luxury skeins of yarn a year prior to KnitCrate. And so to me, I was like, woohoo! I was all excited. I'm hoarding them up in one of my little cubbies here. I have made quite a few items with the yarn. The other really nice thing that I love about KnitCrate is that it has DK weight yarn, it has worsted weight yarn, it has fingering weight yarn, and it even has had a chunky here and there. I'm going to be honest, don't like the chunky. Still haven't made anything from it. It's like a chunky that they want you to, what's the word? You know when you felt, they want you to felt it. And I was like, I've never felted anything. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So let me look at my list of pros about KnitCrate. I feel like I've talked a lot about KnitCrate. Luxury yarn, nice patterns, online patterns, the crochet or the KnitCrate bucks. Oh, the final thing that I really like about KnitCrate that they changed is initially when you got KnitCrate, you just got whatever they gave you. It was a complete shock. And I never got burned. I always was very, very happy with the colors I got. My biggest memory of someone getting quote unquote burned was poor Holly at the Proper Pineapple. There was a month where they were coming out with a really beautiful pink, but also they had like this whiskey brown, and poor Holly got the whiskey brown, and I could see it in her cute little face. She was so disappointed. Luckily for me, I got the pink, and I have never been like, bleh. Wait, I tell a lie. There was one month where they gave you like this pistachio green, but I just gave it away. I put it in my last year's Christmas giveaway, and it was green. I gave only red and green yarn away, and so I felt like it was kind of a win-win because I love it when I can share my KnitCrate with you guys if I'm not necessarily thrilled or I have a lot of whatever color. And it's always nice to give someone a KnitCrate because it is luxury yarn, yo. Okay, so now they have this thing where you can go onto their website and you can, I'm trying to refocus there, you can adjust or you can choose the color, feeling, or family that you like. I'm very fortunate. My girl Tina messages me whenever you can go on and make your changes, because they come out with the colors and then you can change it. And so thank you, Tina, for that. I have set it, I believe, like cool shades or whatever, because I knew that there were mostly blues and purples in there, and I love those the most. And so every month I so far have been getting like the blues. This is the one I got. I don't remember last. These are the most last 3 boxes that I've gotten. And then let me open this up. This is one of the more recent. Whoop, there you go. Still dropping things on the floor, yo. That is a blue. And then I'm making, this has to be the most recent. And it's in this like green. I mean, I wasn't thrilled with this, but I didn't change it. Just a second here. I think Flynn wants to say something. Okay, so I think the only downside of this new recording situation is it's going to be hard to hit the pause button. Okay, so that is all I'm going to say about KnitCrate. You can now go online. You can choose your color family, your color feeling, your color combo. I don't remember what they call it. And so if you want to get a different, you're not going to get stuck with something horrendous like poor Holly did that time. And is it really horrendous? I don't know. I mean, I always feel like there's something you can do. And then, like I said, I give them away. Okay, that was everything I wrote about KnitCrate. Now to talk about Crochet Society. Crochet Society, 1 month came in a small box, and this month came in a big box. Let me drag it out of the corner here. So my first month came in this little box. And then the second month came in this big box. So I feel like Bella Coco is flexible. I don't know why I said that. But I don't know. Like, she's not going to let the size of her box, I guess, deter her from putting things in there. This box here, let's see what I have remnants of. The first one I made, the little mitts. And just a few of the things. Now, the big difference about Bella Coco is she does give you yarn. She doesn't give you luxury yarn. Like, it's not 100% merino silk and cashmere and stuff like that. One of the months, it was a merino acrylic blend. I wonder if I can get my chair a little higher. There we go. So she does send you the yarn. Now, the thing is, it's not only yarn. She also mails you tons of goodies. And when I mean tons, I mean tons. So you get the pattern book. She also mailed wrapping paper, which I thought was scrapbook paper. Stuffing to complete one of the projects. A cute little stitch mark holder, which you can't hardly see. Maybe I'll use the stitch. There you go. See that? It's a star, and it's got a stitch mark on it. Here in this little box was labels to sew that, like, oh, I made this just for you. And I'll show you what's in the next one, because I rated this box. I used the yarn. I made a project. I made the crochet hook. Let's see. This is the box. This is this is December's box, I'm assuming. So in it came 2 skeins of yarn. This is a cotton acrylic mix. And I think it's Bella Coco's yarn. Bella Coco's got her own yarn. Bella Coco Crochet Irresistible Erin. And this is like in a blue, it's like a glacier kind of color. She gives you what you need to complete one of her projects. So in here's the stuffing. In here are the safety eyes. And there is a pattern book. Now, one of the things that I really like about the Crochet Society is there are multiple patterns for crochet to use this yarn. So in this package, you can either make the little snow yeti, you can make a little pair of sock booties, or you can make this cute like hook case or makeup brush case. So whereas the KnitCrate is for knitters and it has a multiple projects, the Crochet Society, hence being called Crochet, has a variety of projects. Now last month, like I said, I made her little red and green mitts, and then I had leftover yarn, one because I apparently made child size mitt. My tension is so tight lately, they fit Flynn, not me. And I'm about 3/4 of the way through a second project using that yarn. Now my tension isn't only the cause of that. Carrie Penny also was able to do 2 projects with one of her Crochet Society boxes. So the other thing, so besides getting the pattern, the stuffing, the safety eyes, the 2 skeins of yarn, also it comes with one of Bella Coco's fancy hooks. I don't have one on me right now, I don't think. I'm gonna look just in case. I tucked it aside. I don't think I do. I should, but it's one of her cute polymer clay hooks. I should have one laying around here because I was just using it. I did use it for the mitt, wherever I stuck it. And I did use it for starting the stocking. But I'm going to be honest, and it's just me, Bella. I'm not trying to be judgmental. I don't love the polymer clay hooks. They just don't feel good for the way I hold the crochet hook. So the polymer clay hooks are cute. I planned to give them away in future giveaways because for me, there's a little bit of value in that as someone who does YouTube videos and giveaways. I now have 2 really cute crochet hooks that I can give away. If you don't obviously do those might be wasted on you, right? So the hooks are nice. It's my bad because I hold my hook like this. And so because I hold it like this, the polymer clay doesn't have that same nice squishy feel that the Clover Moore or the tulips do, and it's just not comfortable. The final thing that was in this giant box that just sent me through the moon, I was so thrilled, was a Big Plans planner. Now, my crochet partner in the Summers Tips and Stitches Facebook group, not this last one, not Cindy, but the one before that, Laura, in my swap group, she sent me a planner and I was thrilled with that. And I'm someone that's in the middle of electronic world and handwritten world. So this planner is awesome for me. It's not like a dated planner, so it won't expire, but it's for you to take notes about specific projects you make and different ideas that you need to do for it. Now, I really love that. I'm someone who does not always make the patterns exactly how they should be. And so having these little planners for my favorite patterns that I make a lot of time, like my favorite baby sweater, like my favorite baby hat, different things that I have changed, like, I'm trying to think about you know what? When Holly made this really gorgeous shawl, I don't remember what she called it. It was her birthday crochet along surprise cowl. I made changes to that the second time I made it. And so for me, having these little booklets to jot down the notes in and then have a nice way to save it, tuck it on the shelf, then I won't throw them away. And then I'll remember, oh, the next time I make this, I changed this stitch to this stitch and I made it 3 lines longer because being a chubby gal, sometimes you have to make the scarves and the stuff longer to fit you. And so then I can take these notes. And if I'm just taking them on regular little paper like this, I end up losing them and throwing them away like this. Here's a perfect example. I scribbled the notes down for something right here. It says chain 23, 22 single crochet across, 24 half double crochet rows. I didn't label this. I have no idea what this is about. But if I would have had this cute little planner, I would have put it in here. I would have labeled it. It has the to-dos, ideas, things that you need for this project. And I could have written it nicely in this little book, in this leather satchel type book, tucked it on my shelf, and I probably would not have thrown this away, and I would have known exactly. Now I just have this scribbled up note here, and I'm trying to think, what is this for? Okay, So that is all to say that in the Crochet Society box, she gives you tons of goodies, just the goodies. Now, I will spoil my kids rotten, but when it comes to myself, I'm very frugal. And I want the tons of cute goodies, the stitch mark holders, the cute stitch mark sets. Oh my gosh, you guys just fell on the floor. Okay, maybe I'll have my husband edit it out. We'll see. So what I'm saying is I don't like to splurge all that much on myself. And so I don't buy the crochet goodies. And so I love that in this box, I get the crochet goodies. I get the hooks and a full kit to make at least one of the major things in her book. And there are multiple patterns and there's an online library. She also has this code that you can go to and go online and access tutorials on how to make these things if you're feeling confused. The final thing, which could be a downside for some of you, but is not for me, is that the Crochet Society is written in British terminology, meaning instead of saying single crochet, they call it a double crochet. And instead of calling it a double crochet, they went right to the treble crochet. Now, why, I don't know, but that is what they've done. To make that easier, Bella Coco still puts in her little conversion chart, because in addition to saying their stitches differently than the rest than us Americans, they also have hook sizing differences. They go straight by millimeters, whereas in the United States, a lot of times we will say that we want an H hook. And if we're looking for an H hook, we would go over here, and for them, that's a 5 millimeter. Now, I'm going to be honest, that's not that big of a deal these days because all my Clover and Moores have both of those on there. But some of you know, and then from my last video, when it came to these lighted crochet hooks, they had the G at a 4.5, and some Gs are 4.0s. And so, I mean, it can be a little bit tricky there. So that is the Crochet Society box. Now, this is the bad part for me, is because this is a British box, aside from the terminology and all that, this comes from England, so it takes a little bit longer to come over to me in the United States, and I'm very impatient. And also, it is a lot more money. It's not a fortune, it's not going to kill you, but it's $34.99 a month for us Americans. And I don't know what it is for like those in China or Australia or India. I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit more. So that is kind of sad because I do love all the goodies. I do have the opportunity to purchase a bunch of these goodies myself, I'm sure at Joann's. I could withdraw $34 a month out of my checking, zip over to Joann's and Hobby Lobby, and buy myself a bunch of goodies and 2 skeins of yarn. I could do that. But I do love this cute little set that Bella Coco has put together. I also love that her box is Velcro shut. I don't know if you guys can see that. You can't. There's a little Velcro here. Isn't that cute? Oh, I forgot to put my thing in here. So that's kind of like the predicament I'm in. Do I spend an extra $10 a month to get this specific crochet box? Or do I spend $10 a month less to get 2 luxury yarns and 2 crochet patterns? You know, and I guess that's what you have to decide. I'm going to tell you what, guys. I have a sore throat. Before making this video, I was really very nearly ready to cancel my KnitCrate. I figured, you know what? You have been getting KnitCrate for almost 2 years, maybe 2 years. And you have a full bin, like right up here, these cubbies. I have a full cubby of crochet, of yarn from KnitCrate. Because sometimes I do hoard it. Sometimes I give it away in giveaways and whatnot. Sometimes I just save it because it's so beautiful. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm going to make this for this. And I set it aside and I haven't made it yet. Like this yarn right here. I got this from KnitCrate. I caked it up already. And there's a certain pattern from Holly, the proper pineapple, that I want to make with this. And so I haven't made it yet. I just set it aside, and I know in my mind that that's what I want to make with it, and I'm not going to make anything else with it until I find time. Just make it, right? But I haven't. But now that I've made this 30-minute long video with you guys, I'm kind of leaning towards Bella Coco. Plus, I don't know if you guys know this. I made a video last winter after getting a crochet catalog that Bella Coco is featured in quite a lot. I made a video about one of her cowls. I'm going to put a link in the description below to this specific video. And Bella Coco commented on it. And I lost it. I also made a video of myself reacting, if you want. Basically, I was just trying to tell you all that Bella Coco commented on one of my videos. Little old Summer's Tips and Stitches. At that point, I probably had like 5,000 subscribers. And I was freaking out. I was so excited. I call it a reaction video, but really, my family did not care as much. They were like, oh, yeah, great. Who's Bella Coco? And so I had to tell my yarn friends. And I knew all of you would be just as excited and freaking out that Bella Coco commented on one of my videos. So, I mean, I do want to keep up with Bella Coco. I don't know. Maybe I'll just go spend all the rest of my stash points, close out my KnitCrate, and do Bella Coco for a while. And then I'll join back in when KnitCrate has a deal. Another thing for KnitCrate. KnitCrate sometimes does these amazing deals that when you join, they'll give you like 2 months of KnitCrate yarn. They must have these boxes stacked up in a warehouse somewhere. Because I've been a long-time subscriber, I don't get that deal ever. And so maybe dropping KnitCrate for a while, enjoying a little Crochet Society, you know, maybe I can rejoin with them later after I've got enough goodies from Bella Coco, and then I'll get that deal. I don't know. But this is my very long, one of the longest videos I've made in quite a while about these two. And as you can see, there's my sign. I love that sign. And here is the two. Do I choose Crochet Society or KnitCrate? And you know what? Tell me your thoughts. Tell me how much you guys like it. Maybe let me know if you are trying to decide between the two and this helped you decide between whether or not you want to do a Bella Coco crochet or a KnitCrate. I just don't know. I am not very good at making decisions. I'm a peacemaker. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a middle of the road kind of a gal. And so I can always see the good in everything. And that really has me in a tough bind sometimes because I feel like KnitCrate will be sad if I drop them. Or Bella Coco, you know, I don't know what my problem is. But anyway, that is what this very long video is about. Just a quick recap, and I'll put all of this bunch of stuff in the description below. This is $24.99 after you get your initial subscribing deal. This is $34.99, and this is solely crochet. This is knit with a little crochet, and those are the two. Now, there is a million other crochet subscription boxes you guys can do. I think Mary Maxim does one. I, for a while, had the Jim Bean one. I can put links in the description to those videos where I opened up, I got Jimmy Bean for 3 months. And then I'm also, remember, I'll link in my girl, Janae from DoyCreation 7. I love her. Carrie Penny, because she does a very thorough job describing some of these KnitCrate boxes and Crochet Society boxes, far more factual than I do. Like I said, I'm based on feelings. Then also I'll put a link into Z because she's a darn good yarn gal. I also will put a link to my darn good yarn because they did mail me a free box, and KnitCrate and Crochet Society have mailed me nothing free. And then I'll put a link in the video to my Jimmy Bean openings because I did have 3 months of their subscription. And maybe I'll put in a link to that muff video. When I opened the KnitCrate and I had that horrible muff. Okay, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know if I'm going to keep this new way of filming. I also don't know if I'm going to have my husband edit it or not. We'll see. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for liking and sharing my videos. Until the next video, happy crafting. Bye.